Welcome to the coolest beer show on the entire planet Earth, the Crafty Boys. Here we are, we drink beer, we talk about other stuff, and we drink beer.
Great.
So, boys, how's it going? Everyone's well?
Good.
Doing good.
Hey, so am I the only one that just sees the technical difficulties? Please stand by graphic.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Okay. All right, that's fine. I'm okay with it.
Here?
Oh,
There we go. That's better.
There you go. That's all right. Cool.
Okay.
So today we're drinking beer. Hopefully you've been watching the Advent calendar, which we just did earlier. And I totally forgot to go get my beer out of the fridge. The beer that I slaved and had to fight through a torrential downpour just to get it. And then I woke up and Julian was there to give it to me in the hallway. So
to speak.
So I didn't actually go anywhere.
Nice.
It's been a whole week since I've seen you guys. What beer are you drinking? Let's start over here with Julian, because I know that the beer that he has is so unique, so different. You guys have never seen it before.
This is Holland Samass from the Red Truck Brewery across the street.
Nice.
It's a
You guys have
hazy,
never seen that beer?
hazy IPA. 6.5% is enough to keep you watching and listening to the Dead Kennedys. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's available locally. There's some local people who poo-poo the concept of a craft beer coming out of Red Truck, but I have to tell you, it's as good a hazy as you'll find around town.
Okay.
Nice hop finish,
So
excellent aroma.
I'm going to say something controversial. Julian, compare it with Wicked Smart.
Wicked Smart was slightly more potent, coming in at 7%. This is at 6.5. Yes, it's only 0.5%, but that's once you start getting up to that level, like Wicked Smart will knock you down. I mean, it makes a great slave, but it's a cruel master, let me tell you. And Wicked Smart had a much bigger hop profile. It's one of the reasons I stopped making it. Because it's a pain in the ass to make. Long hop profile, a lot of expensive exotic hops. This is more of a mass market hazy, I would say. It's more easy drinking. It's not as strong, ABV wise, and so this is a step down from Wicked Smart, depending on what you're trying to achieve.
Step down, acknowledge.
Yeah, but only slightly. And this is you wouldn't want to be operating any heavy machinery or while coughing this. That's for sure.
Got it. Yeah.
Awesome.
This is good stuff. This is really good stuff.
Perfect. What's Locke drinking up there in Toronto?
So what I'm drinking tonight is not the same thing as that I'm reviewing. What I'm drinking tonight is Henderson's Export Stout, which is awesome. It's 7%. It is dry as an Irish stout, strong as a Russian one.
Okay.
Love it. But what I'm reviewing, actually, I'm going to polish this first. There we go. So this is Bose.
Nice.
David's Tea London Fog. And so what kind of beer is it? Well, so what they have printed on the can is flavored beer.
Flavored beer.
First flavored
of the world.
5.3%. Let's talk ingredients. Water, barley, malts, oats, lactose, cream of Earl Grey tea, black tea, marigolds, cornflowers, natural flavoring, hops, and vanilla extract. Now, to me, this is a sort of a complicated fake, and not one that I support in terms of the approach to beer making. Seems like something that I don't hope to see a whole lot more of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
it's just a little bit too artificial. It's a little bit too,
As you said, a complicated fake.
a complicated fake. So here's the real problem with it. If I'm going to be honest, the real problem, I might even have been able to support this ridiculous claim if not for the vanilla, because the vanilla gives it this sort of milk chocolate aftertaste, which is frankly irritating. It's too sweet, and it doesn't present the thing that you like Earl Grey tea for, which is that it's aromatic and, if not acerbic, certainly not saccharine, right?
True.
With the vanilla in it, it kind of drifts into a chai.
And this tastes like cheap milk chocolate.
Cheap milk chocolate is the worst.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
too sweet. And
Locke is you're on this going on this trail, so it's just a good excuse for you to drink beer in the morning with your toast. Is that the idea? Because it's tea, not beer.
oh, look, Nutella tastes more of cocoa bean than this does.
Yeah.
This is that. Oh, it'd be the
So
sort
on a
of
scale
thing.
of 1 to
It'd be
10.
the kind of chocolate that would come packaged with a paper model and a plastic widget. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
yeah.
Sounds nasty.
So on a
I
scale of 1 to 10,
taste
what do you say?
wax. I taste wax now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Scale of
the
1 to
kind
10.
Well,
What is it?
Wax
I'm imagining.
plus something that's meant to be sugar but doesn't quite taste like it, and sure, whatever it is probably bad for you anyway. There's something off-putting about it. But
So are you panning this one, Locke?
Scale of 1 to 10. What do you say?
What I'm saying is this is extremely disappointing because I am a big fan of oil of bergamot and tea and beer mixed together. I think I've seen it done to tremendous success by Big Rock in its Vancouver brewery.
Right.
They've done an Earl Grey. I think it was an Earl Grey Pale Ale. Might have been an IPA. I think it was a Pale Ale. Anyway, they did it, and it was marvelous. It was like really good. It was yum. It makes you want to
Right.
quaffable. Quaffable ramped up to 11. Right.
So since you're drinking something from Beau's All Natural, is there anything from their product line that you would particularly recommend?
This is me introducing myself to them. So
Okay.
first impression's not good. They've got a tractor as their logo. I'll tell you my theory.
It is, and actually,
it's sort of like McDonald's.
That's it right there.
Goes.
That could be a real drag. Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, that's it.
I have their, and actually, this is a pure coincidence. I am using their bottle opener tonight.
Huh.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if they've got this many interventions in terms of the ingredients, in terms of flavored this and what is a flavored beer exact? God, and so it's like Coors apple essence or whatever or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
fucking, like it's a rubbish idea, and I think everybody agrees. Like there's something sort of off-putting about the fact that and it's sort of it's an oldie-timey tractor is their logo.
Yeah.
So what exactly are they trying to pull?
I think their marketing is just that they're old timey farmy type of people doing all natural blah 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 stuff. But I mean, really, everything is all natural if you think about it.
But what I'm saying is that that's not even what they're doing. What they're doing is artificial flavors added to beer.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
Dave, what is it? If they had just called it an artificial beer, I'd have more respect for them.
Okay.
There's something decidedly postmodern about it. You know, see what I mean?
Since Locke is raving about the advent of tea and beer, can you show us what beer you're having tonight? It's a what? It's a
Got me some good. It's vanilla flavored.
vanilla
actually.
flavored what? Earl Grey?
No, red.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Roy Boss. If you want to split hairs.
Right, this
Tea.
African bush beer.
African bush beer. That's what I've heard.
The best.
So, you want to give us a quick review?
Yeah, it's fabulous.
All right. Well, straight from Dave, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. So, okay. Who's left? Alan, what beer are you drinking this evening? And does it have anything to do with tea?
No, it doesn't actually. So I am drinking this one here that I've wanted to try for a little bit. It came out, well, just recently. It's a limited release. It is from Moon Underwater in Victoria. It is called The Shaft. It is a Russian Imperial Espresso Stout.
Right.
Dan.
Hey.
It clocks in at 10.5%.
That's what I was asking.
I'll drink to that.
And it says here, Victoria, Calgary, Whistler, let's not fight over who invented it, but instead bask in the glory of its existence. The Shaft is the ultimate reward for all the heroes of our industry. Late nights and long shifts will soon be forgotten. So I've already started diving into this. The smell is potent. It's just the smell of espresso and the sweetness of the stout itself.
I'm going to the beer store tomorrow.
The flavor is just amazing. It's just the mouth feel, the body. It's incredible. I'm really enjoying this. It's a limited release, so it will only be available for a short time. But I would, if you like it, I would stock up now.
How much does it cost?
So this one rang in, I want to say about $7 to $8 for the bottle.
You okay, Julian?
Felt a little sticker shock there.
Yeah, that's for a bomber bottle. That's what I'm remembering. I could be wrong. To be honest, I bought this a couple weeks ago, so
I was just been sitting around, just waiting to be.
It's been sitting.
Okay.
Shane, we should make some of that. We haven't made any of that kind of stuff for years, and knowing that you might have to pay $7.50 plus for a bottle makes good sense for us to brew some up. We make
Absolutely.
it for about 50 cents.
I agree. Whoa, that was the wrong button.
If you guys are able to brew up some of this, like a clone, I would be very interested.
All
it's
right.
one of the easier styles to home brew, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The stout?
Yes. Because the flavors aren't delicate. The beer's not temperature sensitive. Like Pilsner, which is, you just can't do it really unless you have a separate fridge and noble hops and temperature controlled fermentation and blah blah blah. You don't need any of that with stout. You just sprinkle your stuff in a bucket and swirl it around. Let the yeast do its thing.
Okay, interesting.
So the stout's an entry-level beer for home brewers compared to the more sophisticated styles, or like a hazy, for example, where you take forever and you need all these different hop varieties and schedules and whirlpooling and dry hopping and whatever else, maltodextrin and you name it. But you don't need any of that for stout. Just
what about the espresso stuff, though,
malt.
Julian?
Yeah. Well, espresso stout usually is called that mainly not because it tastes like coffee, but because it looks like coffee. I mean, it doesn't really taste like espresso, does it?
This one? This one does.
Oh, does it actually have coffee in it? Sometimes
Yes,
they do
it
actually
does.
add coffee.
Yes, it
Oh, I
does.
see. So yeah, well, of course, again, brewing some coffee and pouring it in is it's not rocket surgery, as they say.
No.
Which doesn't disrespect the style. I'm just saying that if you're going to do it at home in a bucket, that's one of the styles that's doable.
Right. Interesting.
I would be
Shane.
totally down with that.
Yes.
Awesome.
What are you drinking?
Oh, what am I drinking? Right. Well, today I am drinking a beer that I slaved over to brew myself. It's called Bowen Island Coastline
Nice.
Pale Ale. You may have seen it in the show before because Julian's been having it. I didn't get a chance to get to the beer store today like I thought I was, and Julian was like, "I got a can for you. Try this." And I got to say, I'm liking it.
Now, I think we did
In my original 16 brewery glass as well.
right. So I think we did the coastline before in a
Oh.
way back.
ago.
But I remember that Julian told us that Bowen Island got bought out, and the beers are actually much better now than
Yes.
they were back then.
Yes,
Well-
they're brewed in Kamloops now by a totally unrelated company to the previous brand, and so this one, I believe, that Shane's got, the Coastline, puts it back into the craft beer style. This is
Right.
this has a very, very craft beer style and package too. I mean, if you look at the information on the package, they're proud of the recipe that they've used. They're telling you about the hops they've got in there and why and what kind of balance it is. I would actually label it more of an ESB than a pale ale because it's a little stronger and because of the hop profile. But it's just that one that Shane's got there. The Coastline is my favorite beer of the summer. I drank it all summer. Yeah, when I bought beer, which of course I don't always usually make my own. But Coastline's good.
I wanted to bring this up because I saw this somewhere just recently. Let me grab the burl from Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse Brewing is. Just if I can do this. Can I do that? Never mind. But essentially, what this is Burlhouse. Burlhouse. Fieldhouse has this burl room. I'm assuming it's barrel room. But they're brewing some very interesting beers right now. This one is the one that was in the news just recently. The Farmhouse Ale, where basically this beer is brewed. Then it is actually stuck into bourbon barrels for 3 or 4 months.
Oh, wow.
And then bottled. So I'm very interested to see this because Fieldhouse is out in, I think, Abbotsford, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so Abbotsford and Chilliwack. But have you guys seen any of this on the shelves yet? I'm very curious. Have you seen
No,
it?
this is totally news to me. Being on the other side of the country, of course.
I know, but you never know. It could make it out there. There could be some sort of.
I've seen some
It's
interesting
cool
stuff
looking.
from
I like it.
Fieldhouse on the shelves here in Victoria, but I, to be honest, I haven't really paid that close attention to it.
Well, Fieldhouse, I think we've had on the show
We have.
once, at some point. I don't remember what we had, but this is a fairly. I gathered from what I read, it's a thing they've been doing for a while, but just more recently they've been doing it more often. So, in the burl room, you of course have all kinds of interesting little things. Here we go. See them all. So this is a kiwi tequila golden sour. Yeah, there's a bunch of really weird ones in here, I gotta say.
Well, and
But this is I gather this is the most recent one.
right. So category 12 here in Victoria has been doing the similar kind of thing. They put out a call for people to not donate, but they have sort of like a what do they call it? A fund thing. And they got themselves a feeder, which is a huge barrel. And they've been doing tons of barrel aged stuff. And if you donated money towards this thing, then you got guaranteed issues of all of the beers that came out of that feeder for like the next year or two or whatever it was.
That's a very cool idea.
So crowdfunded was the term I was looking for.
Crowdfunding, yes, of course.
Yeah.
We've actually had some of these. Oh, I haven't. This is a new one to me.
They have lots of new stuff, and actually, I am horrible. I haven't tried some of it. So that would be the barrel holder release.
I want some of these. Julian, what is your opinion about the whole barrel aged beer thing? Like, I know that we've talked about it around here, but what is your thought? Sometimes I think you don't like them.
I rarely find that it improves the beer. I don't know why. It's something that breweries want to do because, they're desperate to produce new products constantly to, keep the market interested. I have personally not been impressed with any beer that I've tasted that has been in a barrel for 3 to 18 months. Some people like it. I guess if you want bourbon dregs or wine dregs in your beer, that it provides a certain complexity. But I'm not a big fan. I'm sorry. I'm just not a big fan personally of those flavors added to my beer. Sorry. I like fresh beer.
So, and maybe I'm going to catch fire for asking you this, Julian. But we tried on the show. Budweiser came out with this thing called Budweiser Copper, and it was Budweiser that had been barrel aged on Jim Beam staves, and it changed the flavor, complexity, everything about a can of Budweiser dramatically.
Yes.
Did you get a chance to try that?
I have not.
You did not. Okay.
Sorry.
I thought it was. I'm not Budweiser.
So there's two issues. Did it change the complexity or the flavor? And was the change something that you actually would want to do going forward?
Yes. For me, personally, I'm not a Budweiser fan. I don't like Budweiser. If they made Budweiser Copper as not a limited release, but all the time, I'd buy it all the time.
There it is. That's what it looked like. It came in the stubbies as well.
All right. Well, hey, listen. I'm sure there's some out there that I like. I'm not a fan of the technique so far, but if Budweiser Copper is that good, I guess I got to give it a crack.
Well, and maybe, I mean, if it becomes available again, I would recommend trying it. But I mean, different strokes for different folks,
Well, what about other stuff? I mean, in general, when you have a barrel-aged beer, bourbon aged in bourbon barrels or in a sherry cask or whatever, do you like that kind of thing generally?
I do, actually.
So there you go. Okay.
And I do notice a difference. Sometimes, depending on the style of beer, it's a little bit more subtle. There was a case Herminator about, say, 3 years ago. They tried aging it in red wine barrels. And I did notice a difference. It was the flavor was a little bit more complex, but it wasn't that big of a difference, But I did notice it. Was it Thor's Hammer, which is a barley wine? They also did that where they barrel aged it.
Thor's Hammer's good
stuff. I noticed no difference with that.
Sorry, what'd you say about Thor's Hammer, Julie?
Thor's Hammer came from that small brewery in the Okanagan in Sorrento. What was it? What's it called? Can anybody remember the name of that place that made the Thor's Hammer?
I don't.
Thor's Hammer is made by Central City.
Now?
No. There've been multiple Thor's Hammers, sadly.
You might be thinking of Thor's Equinox.
I think we're talking about Cranach.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Cranach Ales in Sorrento, right?
Cranach Ales, yeah.
Made Thor's Hammer the first time I had a beer by that name. Came from
Cranach
in Sorrento. Great little brewery. Are they still alive? Anybody know?
Good question. Yeah,
They used to come to Beer Fest all the time. They stopped a couple years ago.
Rebecca, the woman that co-owned the place, they had their own hop yard. One of the first little breweries to grow their own hops. And what she doesn't know about hops, we don't need to know. She wrote a sort of a scholarly treatise on the subject of raising and propagating hops. And there was a couple of other Cranach ales that became famous here in the Lower Mainland. I'm trying to think of them now. It's going back a couple of years, but good little brewery, good traditional ales, all real ale, kind of thing. But anyway, that's where I recall having Thor's Hammer last time.
Right. So Thor's Hammer by Central City is a barley wine, and as far as I'm concerned, it is the pinnacle of barley wines at least here in BC. And like I say, they did try barrel aging a batch in 2014, and I mean, it was good. It was very good, but it wasn't. I didn't notice a difference over a regular non-barrel aged Thor's Hammer. Shane, you also had that barrel aged Thor's Hammer. Have you gotten into it yet?
No, it's still up in my shelf. It's still sitting there aging away.
I would recommend opening that. That's a 2014. It's as aged as it's going to get, and
well, we just haven't. Well, you know what? Christmas Eve is not far away.
It's not. There you go.
If you're going to make it an occasion, make it an occasion.
Exactly, especially since none of us can go anywhere.
Birthday.
Oh, by the way, the other beer that I drank a lot of back in the day from Cranach was Backhand of God Stout.
Nice.
I've had that.
I do recall that one. Hey, Dave, get naked. Yeah, well, actually, I mean, since none of us can go anywhere, Christmas Eve, that will be the last day of Advent, and maybe that's when I'll crack open the Thor's Hammer.
I think you should. There was a brewery. Speaking of Backhand of God, this was at Beer Fest, I want to say about 4 years ago. A small brewery. It wasn't How Sound, but I think it was just called Sound Brewery or How Brewing or something like that. And they were from Washington State. And they made a beer called Monk's Indiscretion. And it was so good. I haven't tried it since. I haven't been able to find it. But I'm wondering, have any of you guys tried that? Monk's Indiscretion.
Oh, gee.
Shane, are you able to find Monk's Indiscretion?
I can look for it.
I think it was called Sound. I think it was called Sound Brewing. But I Sound Brewing or something like that. But look up Monk's Indiscretion.
Did they merge with Left Fields, the cider company?
It is entirely possible. Feel free to read their history while I look this one. Sound Brewery. Yeah, you're right. But Monk's Indiscretion does not look like Sound Brewery has survived.
Oh dear. That was a good beer. Potent too, as I remember. I think it was like something like 11 or 12%.
Jeez.
Oh wait, hang on. I mean, this might be it. I don't. It's possible that
I think they were from the Puget Sound, which is why the term sound is.
We're going to look at this one here. Beer. So this is Sound Brewery.
Okay.
Contact us. That doesn't help. Not much going on here.
No.
To be honest.
They looked small at the time.
they don't.
Well, that's in the UK.
Yeah, this is not them. So I think they're gone. They must have not survived.
They must not have survived.
Because that's the only website that actually has Sound Brewery in it. So that's too bad.
Anyway, if you
you're saying.
could have, Monks Indiscretion was an amazing beer. And I'll leave it at that.
All right, then. I'll drink to that.
I will drink
Me
that
too.
too. So, are you guys feeling it? The Christmas spirit? Are you getting there? I mean, I am. Yeah. Welcome to Christmas.
Spirit. Do you know the origin of the term spirit?
No, but I want to hear it. Let's go.
Breath.
Breasts? What?
Breath.
Breath.
Oh, obviously breasts. Spirit is about breasts. Boobs.
Hilarious.
No, the origin of the term spirit is breath. That is to say, the breath of something was the spirit of something. So when the alchemists were first distilling alcohol, that is to say, things like gin, from other materials.
From where?
From
other materials.
The breath, the thing that evaporated, that was the breath, right?
Right.
Alcohol is an Islamic term, actually. The term alcohol became alcohol because it was what was left when you distilled down all of the residue of that had fermented, right?
Interesting.
Well,
I think
more Piper.
more fun. Yeah, we're very low energy today. What is wrong with us?
You know what? I think what it is Christmas is approaching.
I'll tell you what it is. I'm fucking drunk right now.
Okay then. All right.
Right?
Christmas is approaching, and Shane was asking, "Are we feeling the spirit?" I don't know that I am. To be honest, it's just another day.
Just another day in paradise.
What about you, Jules?
Well, I mean, no, I'm not. I'm not that
Dave?
excited.
What about you, Dave?
No, not really. We have a tree up, so there's a bit of that going on.
Nice.
But I don't know. I mean, just like the rest of us, right? With all the shit that's going on, it's a little hard to get that up.
That's why I wear crap like this, because I have to get a new arm, because apparently that beams out. But just trying to feel a little of it, not a lot, just a little. I've been watching some really horrible, terrible Christmas movies, which is always a good thing. Jules, can you email Piper and ask her to do a Christmas movie? That would be good. But
I like where you're going with this.
She should just join us on this show, shouldn't she?
I will send her a message.
It's a proper
get
good
her on the
idea.
show. I'd love to get her on the show.
so
this show could do so much better if we had like
Piper.
a chick with boobs.
The thing to say is, okay, look, as with,
I had to swallow that. I had to get it down there.
That's what Piper said.
That beer was coming up.
She might not come free. There might be an appearance fee.
That's a good point. Yeah, we're. I mean, the cash that we pull in every month for our show. Come on.
Oh, sure we
got
got like millions of viewers.
Yeah, I know. It's a top-rated show, but
Certainly are a lot of messages from the audience today.
I know there's very quiet in the chat today.
Very,
which
very
is-
quiet. Very quiet.
Speaking of top rated, just I don't know why I just randomly came across the top paid celebs in I don't know North America. I might have claimed the world or whatever, and it was weird. It was very random, but the reason I'm thinking about it is Howard Stern is one of the top paid. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
what?
his whole
Uh,
deal with Sirius Radio was, or satellite, or what do you call it, was a huge deal. Like he got some disgusting amount of money, like several $100 million, just to do it.
And he was
Because
cutting edge, too.
it's not just him. It's him. I've forgotten her name.
Robin.
Robin, and the guy who does like the sound effecty booth stuff with the Kramer like character, like the comedian guy. Who's like the production engineer. He's also talked as well, but
So I'm sort of ignorant here because I've only watched a little bit of Howard Stern. Are we talking 2020 Howard Stern, or is this some kind of like?
Oh, when he
retro-
jumped to satellite radio, I want to say like 10 years ago, maybe.
So early.
Well, you know Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan, the guy.
No, I don't. I know I'm supposed to know the name Joe Rogan because everybody tells me about him. But
it's not that important. But the reality is that he had a podcast for a while that he just started randomly on YouTube, from what I understand. It grew in popularity. He kept doing it. He started making money doing it. I think back in 2011, 2008, 2000, I don't know, somewhere in there. And it then turned around and exploded in popularity. And then just this year, he was paid like $100 million to go and have his podcast exclusively on Spotify. Which, to be honest, were I him, yeah, sure, okay, I'll take your $100 million and do my thing exclusively on Spotify. I think he's alienated a bunch of his audience because he's doing that, because not everybody uses Spotify, especially people like myself. So you're not going to be able to get it easily, which is kind of counter to what podcasting is really about, in my opinion. Podcasting.
But for $100 million, I gladly alienate.
Well,
half
this is the thing, right? If somebody walked up to me tomorrow and said, "Hey, we like what you're doing with the Crafty Boys, guys. So here's $100 million. We want you to do it exclusively on Spotify." Are any of us here going to say no?
I
What
want
about artistic
101
integrity and not being a whore for the money and doing things for the love of the work and not being about the money.
So
You're
if somebody
funny.
said you get $20 million to do the show
I'll do it.
for
I'll do it.
5 years, so yeah, there you go.
I'll do it for $50. Never mind.
I'd do it for free beer showing up at my house every Wednesday morning.
Well, when we started this, that's what we hoped for, is to get free beer out of it. We don't even have that. But
I think we need a promotions manager to come on board.
I would think we would need to make a few changes. Like Julian is the face now. We'll have like here we go. So like Julian's corner. All right, so Jules, I want you to get into character for me.
I'm ready.
All right, so actually. Okay, ready? All right, so you got your sunglasses with you? Hang on, we're not ready here. Okay, so you ready? All right, here we go. All right, here we go. All right. So Julian's going to be he's got a new segment here on the show. It's called Julian's Corner. And of course, we want to see what Julian has to say about today.
Here's the thing, boys. What's all this shit they're putting in beer these days? Like tea, wine, and grapefruit and shit like this. I mean, really? When I was growing up, we adhered to the Reinheitsgebot. Water, barley, and piss, and some other stuff I can't remember. Look, we didn't put all this other girly stuff in it to make it a rattler and appeal to a wider, lower common denominator. We drank beer because we liked it. So what do you think about that, boys? What do you think about that?
Very good.
very good. Awesome.
Well, there we go. So we got a new segment, Julian's Corner. Give him, it really grinds my gears. Give him kind of a bit of a platform to.
So Julian, what you need to do is wear like a different loud suit every single time we're live.
Oh.
Kind of like Don Cherry. You're going to be the Don Cherry of the Crafty Boys.
You'll have to step up his coat.
I'll think about it. What's my fee? I'm bringing Piper. How's that?
There you go. There you go.
All right, so Alan.
Move.
So Alan, here we go. Are you ready?
What am I doing?
All right, go.
In the leaves? Talking about beer in Star Wars. Well, okay, so where's the beer in Star Wars? The beer isn't there. Why? Maybe it didn't exist in a galaxy far, far away? I don't think so. I think George Lucas has something against beer. I think
What?
George Lucas is maybe a teetotaler. Discuss.
What?
But is he?
Good point.
I don't know.
Is he alive?
Get me off of there.
All right,
Is
Dave.
George Lucas alive
It's
still?
your turn, Dave. All right, go.
What?
Is
Go.
Lucas alive still?
Yeah, little known fact: bears are all about the tea, which is why apparently I was dying weekly for a while there. I don't think I've died recently,
You haven't died since March,
um,
so
but I don't know.
COVID
I
made the
haven't been
bears
keeping
look
up on that, but I think the death rate has plummeted. But I think that Lucas was maybe not, because in Star Wars, the first movie, one of the major scenes is Cantina. Doesn't get more beer than that, right?
all right. So okay, now Julian.
They may not have called it that, but I think beer is
How
a
much of the
universal
Mandalorian have you been
force.
watching?
Okay, hang on. Before you say anything, you're going to take the floor now, and you're going to talk about the Mandalorian. Go.
Fucking badass. It's sort of like Clint Eastwood, spaghetti western. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. That kind of narrative presented in a Star Wars universe that's convincingly Star Wars, which is the critical piece. The technology can't be too far cyber if it's going to be Star Wars. It can't be too far mechanical and what is it, steampunk. If it's going to be Star Wars, it's going to be Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Mandalorian is very Star Wars. They made a very Star Wars film in episodes because adults don't watch movies anymore. We just watch binge television. So it's done in a binge television format, that is to say, geared towards adults. And well, it's very well done for what it is. It's what I hoped it would be, which is kind of like if Clint Eastwood directed Star Wars, it would be a bit like The Mandalorian. So yeah, good. Yeah, solid. There's a little bit of Frank Frazetta in the cinematography, like the way they paint /frames /compose the shots. Frank Frazetta would have looked at that and said, "Yeah, I recognize that work. Yeah, I'd like a royalty, please." What else can I say about it? The Mandalorian, fucking, as some fucking asshole in lockdown in Toronto from the Gen X generation. So no, fuck off boomers. No, fuck off millennials. For this narrow perspective. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is, as far as I'm concerned, Christmas.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter, the Crafty Boys. We also have a Facebook page, but I'm too lazy to make a link thing. So there you go. We, of course, will be back tomorrow with the day 16 of the
17.
Advent. Sorry, what? Oh, right. Jesus. 17. Day 17 of the Advent calendar. Thank you, Julian, for being here. Thank you, Dave, for coming along, even though you're not drinking beer right now. And of course,
beer or something, Dave. Can't you get some near beer, like 0% Heineken or something?
Oh my God.
That's brutal.
So what are you drinking now?
Okay,
Tea.
so Alan, take us out.